Let me ask you something. Right now, far beyond Neptune, out in the cold and the dark, could there be a giant planet, bigger than the Earth, that no human being has ever seen? It sounds impossible. We've mapped galaxies billions of light years away. And yet, some of the world's top astronomers are now convinced that a ninth planet is hiding in our own solar system, waiting to be found. This is one of the greatest mysteries in astronomy today, a real, ongoing scientific manhunt on a scale you can barely imagine. Today, we'll follow the clues, meet the strange frozen worlds that gave the secret away, and ask the big question: is Planet 9 really out there? So sit back and let's go hunting. First, let's clear something up. How many planets does our solar system have? For most of the last century, the answer was 9. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. But in 2006, everything changed. Astronomers had started finding other icy worlds out past Neptune, some almost as big as Pluto. They faced a choice: either welcome dozens of new planets or change the definition. So they wrote new rules, and Pluto didn't make the cut. It was reclassified as a dwarf planet. Poor Pluto was, essentially, fired from the Planet Club, and it's probably still a little bitter about it. And so, officially, our solar system has just 8 planets. The 9th slot sat empty. But here's the twist that nobody expected. Years later, a pair of scientists would come back and say, "We think there really is a 9th planet, just not where anyone was looking, and not Pluto." Quiz 1. How many planets does our solar system officially have today? 1, 9, 2, 8, or 3, 10? The answer is 2, just 8. Pluto was demoted to a dwarf planet back in 2006. And believe it or not, this has happened before. In 1846, astronomers noticed that the planet Uranus was being gently tugged off course by something unseen. A mathematician sat down and calculated exactly where the hidden culprit had to be. When telescopes pointed to that spot, there it was, Neptune, almost precisely where the math had predicted, a planet discovered with a pencil before anyone ever laid eyes on it. That triumph lit a fire. If one planet could be found by mathematics, why not another? In the early 1900s, an astronomer named Percival Lowell became obsessed with a mysterious world he called Planet X, which he believed was lurking beyond Neptune. He searched for it for years and died without ever finding it. But the search he began paid off in 1930 when a young astronomer named Clyde Tombaugh spotted a faint moving dot. It was Pluto. There was just one problem. Pluto was far too small to be Lowell's Planet X. The math, that time, had been wrong. But the dream never died. The idea that one more world might still be waiting out in the dark. Planet 9 is simply the newest chapter in that century-old hunt. To understand the clue, we have to travel to the edge of the known solar system. Past Neptune, the last of the major planets, lies a vast, freezing ring of icy debris called the Kuiper Belt. Pluto lives here, and so do thousands of smaller frozen worlds, leftovers from the birth of the solar system. But just how far into this frozen frontier have we actually reached? In 2015, after a journey of 9.5 years and nearly 5 billion kilometers, the New Horizons spacecraft swept past Pluto. For the first time, humanity saw a world of the Kuiper Belt up close. Pale plains shaped like a heart and mountains made of solid ice. And yet, the place where Planet 9 is thought to hide is far beyond even Pluto, many times farther still. We have barely stepped out our own front door. And some objects don't stay in the belt at all. A few travel on wildly stretched, elongated orbits that carry them unbelievably far away, into a region so remote that the sun is just another bright star in the sky. These lonely wanderers are the key to the whole mystery. The most famous of them is a small red world called Sedna. Sedna's orbit is staggering. At its closest, it's already far beyond Neptune. At its farthest, it's about 20 times farther still. A single trip around the Sun takes Sedna roughly 11,000 years. The last time Sedna was this close, humans were just learning to farm. And Sedna is not alone. Astronomers have found other worlds on these same impossibly distant paths. One of them, with the catalog name 2012 VP113, was nicknamed Biden by the team that found it. Worlds like these, whose orbits seem cut off from the rest of the solar system, are called detached objects. And the real question is this: what put them on such extreme paths in the first place? And the Kuiper Belt isn't even the true edge of things. Far beyond it lies the Oort cloud, a vast, spherical shell of icy bodies wrapped all the way around the solar system, reaching perhaps a quarter of the way to the nearest star. This is the deep, dark frontier where a hidden Planet 9 is thought to roam. Out here, the familiar solar system, all the planets you know, would feel impossibly small and very far away. Now here's where it gets strange. By 2016, astronomers had found a handful of these extreme distant objects. And when they mapped out their orbits, they noticed something deeply weird. The orbits weren't pointing in random directions. They were all tilted the same way and clustered together, all leaning in the same direction in space. Think of it like this. Imagine the hands of a dozen clocks, scattered across the world, and somehow they're all pointing the same way, all by themselves. That shouldn't happen by chance. Something has to be lining them up. And out there in the dark, something appeared to be hurting these distant worlds with its gravity. Quiz 2. What first made scientists suspect a hidden Planet 9? 1. A bright flash in space. 2. The strangely clustered orbits of distant icy worlds. Or 3. A radio signal. The answer is 2. Far-off worlds had orbits all leaning the same way, as if something massive was hurting them with its gravity. 2 scientists at Caltech, Konstantin Batygin and Mike Brown, ran the numbers, and the answer that fell out was breathtaking. The simplest way to explain that clustering was the gravity of a massive, unseen planet far out beyond the Kuiper Belt. In 2016, they announced it to the world. They called it Planet 9. And there's a delicious irony buried in this story. Mike Brown, one of the 2 men behind Planet 9, is the very same astronomer whose discoveries got Pluto demoted in the first place. He even wrote a book about it, cheerfully titled How I Killed Pluto. So the man who once took our 9th planet away may now be the one who hands us a brand new one. You really couldn't make it up. But how could a single planet line up the orbits of worlds so impossibly far away? Picture a shepherd. Over enormous spans of time, the gravity of a giant Planet 9 would gently nudge those distant objects, hurting them, little by little, until their orbits all lean the same way. Like one patient sheepdog gathering a scattered flock, not over years, but over millions and millions of them. So what is this thing supposed to be like? According to their work, Planet 9 isn't a small icy rock. It's thought to be a giant, perhaps 5 to 10 times the mass of the Earth. That would make it a smaller cousin of Neptune, a type of world we call a super-Earth or a mini-Neptune. Strangely, that's the most common kind of planet we find around other stars, yet we may have been missing one in our own backyard. And it would live impossibly far away. While Neptune orbits at 30 times the Earth-Sun distance, Planet 9 is thought to sit hundreds of times farther out. A single orbit could take it 10 to 20,000 years to complete. Out there, the sun would give almost no warmth at all, just a brilliant point of light in an endless night. Try, for a moment, to imagine actually being there. From the surface of Planet 9, the sun would be just a single brilliant star among thousands, giving off no warmth you could ever feel. Temperatures would sit near -200 degrees. In a single year, just one trip around the sun, would outlast entire human civilizations. It may be one of the coldest, darkest, loneliest places we can imagine, and it could be sitting in our own solar system right now. Quiz 3. If Planet 9 exists, how massive is it thought to be? 1. About the same as Earth. 2. About 5 to 10 times the mass of Earth. Or 3. About the same as the Sun. The answer is 2. Around 5 to 10 times Earth's mass, making it a super-Earth, a smaller cousin of Neptune. Which raises the obvious question. If this planet is so big, why on Earth haven't we found it? The answer is brutally simple: distance and darkness. So far from the Sun, Planet 9 would reflect almost no light. It would be fantastically faint, a tiny, dim speck crawling across a sky absolutely packed with stars. And we don't even know exactly where to look. Astronomers can only estimate a huge, sweeping arc of sky where it might be. Searching for it is like hunting for a single, almost invisible firefly somewhere over an entire ocean at night. We've mapped galaxies at the edge of the universe, but a planet in our own solar system could still be hiding. Honestly, it's a little embarrassing. So how do you actually hunt for it? The method is surprisingly simple. You photograph the same patch of sky again and again on different nights. Then you line the images up and flip between them. The stars stay frozen in place, but a planet quietly shifts its position. You're hunting for that one moving dot. It's the very same trick that found Pluto back in 1930. The difference is that today, instead of a human eye, it's giant telescopes and computers sifting through billions of stars. But the hunt is on, and it is relentless. Teams around the world are using some of the most powerful telescopes ever built to scan that arc of sky, comparing images night after night, looking for one faint that moves while the stars stay still. For years, the searches came up empty, but they were also looking with one hand tied behind their back. For years, one of the leading searches has used the Subaru telescope, perched high on a volcano in Hawaii, gathering the faint light from the very edge of the solar system. Astronomers have quietly mapped enormous stretches of sky, ruled out vast regions where Planet 9 simply is not, and slowly narrowed the search. It is painstaking, unglamorous work, but every empty patch of sky they cross off brings them one step closer. That's about to change. A brand new observatory, the Vera Rubin Observatory, has begun scanning the entire southern sky again and again in incredible detail. Many astronomers believe that if Planet 9 exists, this telescope could finally catch it within the next few years. We may be living in the exact moment that this mystery gets solved. So why might this telescope succeed where every other search has failed? The Vera Rubin Observatory carries one of the largest digital cameras ever built, and it photographs huge swaths of sky all at once, every few nights. Over 10 years, it will scan the southern sky hundreds of times over, and computers will automatically compare every single image. It's a hunt on a scale no human team could ever manage by hand, running tirelessly, night after night. If Planet 9 is out there, hiding is only going to get harder. But now, I have to be honest with you. Not everyone is convinced. Planet 9 has never actually been seen. It is, for now, a hypothesis, an extremely clever explanation for a strange pattern, but not a confirmed world. And some very smart scientists think the whole thing might be a mistake. Their argument goes like this. Maybe that famous clustering isn't real. Telescopes can only point at certain patches of sky at certain times, so perhaps we only found objects that happen to line up and missed the ones that don't. If that's true, the pattern is just an illusion created by where we happen to be looking, and there may be no hidden planet at all. Others suggest something gentler. Instead of one big planet, maybe the combined gravity of countless small icy objects out there, all pulling together, could nudge those orbits into line. No single Planet 9, just a faint, distant disk of debris working as a team. The debate is genuinely unsettled, and that's what makes it real science. And then there's the wildest idea of all. A few scientists have floated the possibility that the hidden mass isn't a planet at all, but a tiny, ancient black hole left over from the very birth of the universe. One small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, yet as heavy as several Earths. To be clear, this is a long shot, a fringe idea. But the fact that scientists even take it seriously tells you how mysterious this is. If Planet 9 is real, where did it even come from? It might have been born close to the Sun and then flung outward by the gravity of Jupiter, exiled to the freezing edge. Or, more dramatically, it could be a rogue planet, a world that once drifted alone through the galaxy and was captured by our Sun as it passed by billions of years ago. An adopted planet, in other words. So why does any of this matter? Because finding Planet 9 would be a genuine, history-making discovery. It would be the first true planet found in our solar system since Neptune, back in 1846. Textbooks would be rewritten overnight. Our map of home would suddenly grow far, far larger than we ever thought. And it would be a humbling reminder. We tend to think we've explored our own neighborhood, that the age of discovery is over. But if a planet several times the size of Earth can hide right here, in the Sun's own family, then the universe is still full of secrets sitting much closer than we imagine. So, is Planet 9 really out there? The honest answer is, we don't know yet. Maybe a giant world is drifting through the dark right now, silently herding its frozen flock, waiting for the night we finally catch it in a telescope. Or maybe it's a ghost, a pattern in the data that will quietly fade away. Personally, I really hope it's real. There's something wonderful about our solar system still keeping one last great secret. Either way, within our lifetimes, we may finally know for sure. And the next time you look up at the night sky, remember, somewhere out there in the dark, the hunt is still going on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.